Grow 'em Big with Steve Bartylla. Brought to you by Huntworth and these other fine sponsors.
As those that have followed my stuff for much know, one of the biggest pet peeves I got is that we've been sold a bill of goods. That we have to have extremely deep pockets and all sorts of sprawling acres to go ahead and do any type of habitat improvement. I mean, yeah, we can do it, but it's just worthless as heck. I mean, we're just wasting our time. That could not be more possibly wrong. It couldn't be. I've managed huge properties, I've managed tiny properties, and I know Robbie's going to agree with me here, owning, I believe it's 30 acres
40.
or so? 40 acres. When you're looking at less than 100 acres, when you're looking at less than when you're looking at 10 acres, your margin for error is so small that doing these things is a tremendous game changer. No, you're not going to, in an area that never kills anything more than 130-inch bucks, going to all of a sudden be killing 340s. As if there even is a 340 running around out there. No, but all of a sudden, you have a chance at those animals that are in that area. Robbie, as just mentioned, controls a 40, and if you're going to see what he shot off of that 40, what his lovely fiancée Stacy shot off that 40, and what his daughter shot off that 40 would choke a horse. Robbie, how do you make those small properties sing? What are the major challenges? How do you overcome them? All that type of stuff you just run.
The biggest challenge I found when I went into the smaller properties is I couldn't just pick a spot to put a food plot that was going to be the easiest for me to do. I had to really do my homework with my prevailing winds and everything to make sure I put my food plots and staged them in an area that I could get to and from them without getting boogered by the deer. So a lot of people will go out and put a plot in, not thinking of that, and then when it comes hunting season, they're like, I can't hunt this plot. With the success I've had, it is due to water, the proper food at the proper time, and security. The biggest thing is security. I'm not the guy that goes in with my four-wheeler and runs four-wheelers all through my property. I don't let the grandkids do it. That is my hunting sanctuary that I want the deer to feel safe.
And if you don't mind, somebody, and I wish I could remember who, but I mean, when I was short, convinced me that when it comes to this type of stuff, you've got a choice. You've got the ground you control, and you've got the ground the deer control.
Yep.
The more ground you can, the higher of a percent, within reason, because you do need dead zones, but for your wind to blow into, to be able to walk through all that type of stuff. But the higher percent of your ground that you can allow the deer to own, the better off you're going to be from a hunting standpoint.
Yes, and the one thing that I found that worked the best for me, and it was by trial and error, I was the guy that always would set over my food plots, and I would hunt them. Anybody that sets over a food plot in the evening and sees all the deer come pouring in, how do you get out of that stand? Years ago, I'd blow a coyote call, blow the deer out, and I'd get out. To me, that was just the wrong thing to do. So I start now, and I have for many, many years, I hunt off of the food plot. I hunt the trails from bedding to food. So when they're out in that plot, I can sneak out and get out of there and not booger the deer. They feel safe, they're gonna stay around.
Outstanding. And I'm gonna guess that you have, please correct me if I'm wrong, you know where the deer are generally bedding out there.
Yes.
You know where their predominant destination food sources are.
Yep.
You know neither of those are on your property.
Right, exactly.
So what you're doing is you are creating a pinch point and a staging area between bedding and their feeding. And by not hunting on the plot itself, by hunting back off it a little bit, you can get in and you can get out, without exploding the place every darn time you hunt.
Yep.
Final thoughts, brought to you by Huntworth.
We've got it stuck in our heads that we need all these acres and all this stuff, and I'm not going to go into the whole spiel again because I've done it too often, but we both know that's baloney.
Right.
Okay, based on what I just heard you say, in order to maximize your small property, what you really do is you figure out, what can I get out of this? I can't get bedding, feeding, and transition on a 10-acre property.
Right.
That's just too, but I could either create a buck trap by going ahead and making all sorts of doe bedding and feeding sorts, or I could go ahead and try to create a transition zone like you did.
Yep.
Or if I happen to control the best buck bedding in the area, I can take that route. But IDing what you can do and then getting off your butt and actually doing it makes a heck of a difference. And don't take my word for it. Just look at the stuff that him and his loved ones kill.